All right, so what I want to do is show you kind of repairing process and um, what if per se that I'm in this building and I want this wall to look a little thicker around the windows. How do I do that? Well, what happens is if I go to edge like this and extrude the edge back just a little bit, I'm going to get this big old hot mess in my UV texture editor window because, I didn't think about that ahead of time. But those are the things I want to show you because that happens all the time. Here's how you kind of repair that. Let's grab the UVs and go to UV shell, hit W on the keyboard and move this whole big mess over here. This mess includes the new window that you have in here. You can go over on the outside edge. And this is especially true about extrude, that the outside edge is actually this big huge face on the outside edge. I'm going to hit move and sew, and you can see what happens. It moves and sews it out to the outside edge. So that doesn't work really well. If I grab the face, however, let's say I go like this, grab the UV here, and go to UV shell, you can see they are made up of separate shells, each one stacked on top of each other. So that's what the problem is. So you can go like this, hit move and sew, and you can see it moves and sews only to that outside edge, but it scales it. And that's bad too. Right? So what I want to do is show you a very quick and easy way to kind of think about this. If I have these four faces, I can go in here and automatic map it. And this is usually the only case where I really do like automatic mapping. Usually I don't use it very often, just for the fact that it's sloppy. So here, I have those four individuals. What I'm doing is scaling them down. That way when I go into the edge here, I can go and now move and sew, and it's not so bad. So I will move and sew, move and sew, move and sew, move and sew. And you can see what's happening to the texture. It's warping and doing all kinds of craziness. So this is another thing you have to kind of do, is grab the UVs, and you can do a push left, a push right, so these are all cool tools that I get to show you now that I wanted to just kind of show you how to repair textures and repair seams. Those are things that are often missed. So there we go. I got that. Also, when I'm grabbing these faces right here, I'm going to assign those that material because they're not even assigned a material yet. Assign existing material, and I'm going to put those at the main building just to show you that this is actually really jacked up looking. Okay, so that's our next thing, is how to repair that. If you go to edge, you can go in here to sew, and this will sew these edges together. So what, you say? Well, that was lame. Now, if you grab the UVs and hit W, you can kind of move these, and you'll want to straighten them out. and you'll want to scale them a little bit. So the idea here is don't make them so interiorly faced beveled. Okay, and once you repair this side, it should look pretty good. Now I say pretty good, that not being perfect. And I'm just straightening these out again. Just like that. So you can see, that doesn't look half bad. All right, all that just because you don't think ahead when you model and you get too wrapped up into texturing, and then you say, oh, well, hey, you know, I got to do one more step in order for that to look right. Now, I did that because there's a difference between tiled and non-tiled textures, okay? And that is, if I fill this hole, I'm just going to fill this hole real quick just so I can get the face size down. So this, well, let's see. Actually, I think the better thing to do would be go over here and fill this one. That way I don't have to make it a separate part. Okay, so here, fill hole, just like that. And then this face is just a loner, just all by itself. Well, in this area, I'm going to go create planar map, and that's going to be where my window goes. And lo and behold, look what I have on my hard drive. It is the window. Okay, so what I did in Photoshop is this. Okay, this is a 1024 map by 1024. Based upon the other videos, I made this. And I saved it as a TIFF. And that TIFF is located here in my desktop building, and it's called window. Okay, so I'm going to drag that over to my Hypershade. Just like that. And then I'm going to make a material called window. Let's see, Lambert, duh. And call that Lambert window. So there's a lot of jumping around, no doubt about it. And if there's lots of windows, I would say this is going to be called window 1. That would be a good way to do it. And window underscore 1 would be better. There we go. Or window 2, just as long as you have separate windows. You don't want to use the same window for every window. Okay, texture, I'm just going to click and drag that one out to go to default. And then go to the face and then assign that an existing material called window 2. So there we go. There's my window. And I know I modeled one that kind of looks like more of an exterior texture, but yeah, you get the idea on how that works. Probably being an exterior or interior texture, you wouldn't have any of this green stuff growing. Other than that, not much difference. So if you kind of look at it from, let's say you were down here below, you're looking up, you're going to see that edge, and you're going to see that, and it's going to look nice. Another thing you should consider is it's not going to be that perfect around the outside edge, so you might not want to put it so far out there. You might just want an inkling of it being beveled in. Okay. Now, you don't have to do every window that way. Remember, some of these windows are actually open. So these top two windows are the only ones that have to be repaired in such a manner. All right, so that's your next mission, is probably repair the other window and then move on to the next video. You should have, by then, you should have two textures in place just like this. This one being different, you should probably model a different variation of that texture out in Photoshop and then get that one over here. Don't make them the same. And don't do the chintzy thing that I know you're thinking, why don't I just invert this over? Don't do that either. All right, enjoy, and when you get done, please move on to the next video.